Howlers.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Fade to Obsidian, your Red Rising podcast about relationships, spaceships, and everything in between. And now we're an art podcast. So,
just do art
as
now.
always, I'm Crescent, joined by Skipper.
Hello.
And today, very special guest from Lit Escalates / the Shit Escalates Patreon, we have Carl, aka Patreon guy Carl, aka Cat Backpack, aka the announcer from Operation Hazard Bedlam, Hazard Bedlam 3. We can cut that. That's fine.
It's everything.
We
4
won't,
too,
but...
actually.
Yeah. 2.
I
Some
did
bacchanals. You've done all the
God,
announcing.
everything.
Yeah, they have,
Possibly the most hilarious man on the planet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's certainly untrue. I'm not Hannibal Buress. I mean, I did not perform in Saudi Arabia, so...
There you go. Wow.
Topical!
I like it. Well, welcome. Technically back. Most people will be seeing you for the first time here, but we did do a very exclusive for the Shit Escalates and our Patreon. You on a boat, because who doesn't want to see Carl on a boat? So thank you this
Radar
time
dishes on a boat.
for coming back and maybe not being as distracted by spinny things on the boat. We'll
The
see,
spinny
though.
things, the orbs.
The orbs.
The orbs!
Sometimes you just gotta ponder an orb.
Yeah. You know,
I do be pondering.
we're still wondering. But yeah. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for joining us tonight. So, questions we ask everybody before we start. And you can go in any order of these. Question number 1. Why are you Cat Backpack? Question number 2. What are you drinking tonight? And number 3. How did you find Red Rising? Like, what brought you to the world?
I just moved aside the potatoes, and there it was. So tonight I'm drinking Miller Lite. I can put these away. They don't do anything.
Nice.
And that's fine. What do y'all got?
I have a Ryan Ginger.
I have Brewhouse Pilsner. Because it's cheap.
There you go.
Yeah, you can put away a lot of them, and it doesn't really do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not till beer 8 or something. So I got the name. I was awarded the name Cat Backpack during Hazard Bedlam 3, I think. And those of you who were present for Hazard Bedlam 3 may recall that there was a long and very involved process of rolling dice and like trees of competition leading down to a final showdown. And I had written like 15, maybe 20 pages of notes. There was sort of like fill in the blank, and they had a lot of like really gory deaths that were assigned to whoever the loser of each of these things was. I think there's a recording of this on the YouTube, isn't there?
There is. If you're watching this on YouTube now, it will appear above you. I will put a link so that people can watch that and then come back or watch it after. But yes, I will attach
either way. Yeah, just add it to the queue.
Yeah.
And so Pierce was like, I need this guy around with me all the time. This guy needs to be Cat Backpack. And then I asked him about it later on, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Which is fine. It's very fair.
We know in our heart of
of
hearts that you should always
true.
be in Pierce's Cat Backpack. Yes.
Yeah. Narrate his entire life.
I have yet to get a piggyback ride from the dude, but I did flip off somebody he was talking to on Snapchat, so that's almost the same. And then the way that I got into Red Rising was actually through my boss Joel. I had not heard of it before, like at all. And in 2022, I was doing a residency down at the Sequential Artist Workshop in um, Gainesville, Florida. Shout out to my homies in Gainesville. I know y'all down there. And Joel called me up and was like, okay, so I've got this thing that I'm doing. I'm doing this thing called Lit Escalates. We're doing merchandise for this thing called Red Rising. And I had just come off of watching this series of movies about the Yorkshire Ripper, who was a serial killer active in like 1970, the 70s through the early 90s, called Red Riding. And I was like, "Are you?
What?
You're making merchandise about the Yorkshire Ripper? This is what you're doing with your time? I get that. No, I don't get this at all. What the fuck are you talking about, Joel?" And so, like, he used the. He was like, no, it's a space thing. Don't worry about it. Here, let me send you some books. So he sent me some books. And I read the first one, and I was pretty well hooked. I think things got a lot better, or at least I started enjoying them a lot more. And in the second trilogy, like the first trilogy is great, but that's less for me than the multi viewpoint through that goes on in the second trilogy. And yeah, so he hired me on to run the Patreon starting in 22, and then I've just been in that position since then. You fortunate viewers out there, if any of you were in the Patreon from 2022 through September 2025, I am the only fucking person you talked to in there. If you received a pin or a pack of stickers, I touched them with these hands.
Oh no.
They were packed in this very garage on this. I'm not gonna try to show you what the carpet looks like, but there's a rug here that they were packed on.
That rug.
Oh, is that the cat rug?
This is the cat. The cat backpack rug. Or the one that gets pissed on all the time? Yes, both.
Yeah, the toxoplasmosis rug.
Yeah, so if any... We're not doing that. So, okay. Yeah, so, like, this is where all of the Patreon stuff happened from 2022 through September 2020. Now that we have a warehouse space, that Lit Escalates has grown enough that we have multiple, like 4 or 5 full-time employees at this point. I don't have to do that anymore, and it rules. So fulfillment on the Book of Lorne stuff, I don't have a hell of a lot to do with that. I just send them the address. It rules. Yeah, there you go.
Nice. Yeah, I don't think people understand.
Doing that much shipping must have been
insane.
An
it
absolute
sucked.
Fuck show.
I mean, there were only like, I want to say at the high water mark, there were maybe 200 patrons at the pin level.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's much more doable than what it is with the Book of Lorne thing, because we like people who are entitled to the ash cans for that. That's numbering in the upper 700 range, and there's just not a way that I would be interested in attempting that.
Yep. Crescent's got his ash cans there. I just literally thought,
yeah,
oh no, my ash can's upstairs.
Ooh, and you haven't gotten the third one yet, have you?
I have not.
All right, we'll ensure that those are in the post for you. The sticker for the third one, which is reversed for you out there in TV land.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks fucking sick.
It's coming through clear for us, so everyone will see.
Okay,
that is the right way.
A good friend.
All right. So, great. Yeah. That's okay. I'm glad that's right reading for y'all. Yeah. So with the Book of Lorne, as this has been, so we started working on this like, all right, basically from the jump. I was like, Joel, we've got to do something comics based on the Patreon. It's a great medium for that. And time goes by, whatever. It comes to be January 2025, the year of our Lord 2025. And so Joel's like, do you still want to do that comic thing you were talking about? And I was like, what comic? Oh, that, yeah. And so we Joel has apparently been talking with Pierce about this for a while, trying to sell him on the idea of serializing the comic on the Patreon. And so I don't know, like we all sort of meet together over Zoom in a way not dissimilar to this, and then we sort of cooked that idea. I had whipped up like a backstory for Severo because I like that guy a lot, and he stinks.
Yeah.
I think that's very funny. He's a guy who smells bad, and is also like psychotic. All qualities near and dear to my heart.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, what's not to like?
Yeah.
So that didn't gel. I think that is maybe doing a backstory for Severo, like a pre-institute Severo, might be a little bit too loaded. I get that. Anyway, so like he hits me with this idea for Book of Lorne, and that's tremendously exciting. Pierce and I sort of go back and forth over a bunch of different artists. We eventually settle upon Giannis Milano Giannis, who is somebody whose work I have admired for over 10 years, since having seen him do. Oh gosh, what was the first? I think somebody linked me to his webcomic Old City Blues, which is great. If you are a fan of Blade Runner, or of any of Masamune Shiro's work, or Ghost in the Shell, or really anything that's set in that kind of milieu, Old City Blues is one to watch. I think it's like 15 issues of that right now. And then he also did the artwork on one of the 3 story arcs in Brandon Graham's reboot of the Image character John Prophet, called Prophet, as you might imagine. It was him and Farrell Dalrymple, and I can't remember who the third artist is, but this is a great run. And like Giannis's skills are really like tested by it, and he comes through really, really well. Like Book of Lorne is, in comparison, relatively easy on him in terms of drawing challenge. Like we haven't had anything that's in 4-dimensional space thus far.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or I mean, okay, so
This
4D
far.
space, by which I mean like where there's more than 3 vanishing points.
Okay.
But also, I think there is some 4-dimensional space in Prophet. Not sure I remember. Anyway, yeah, Giannis is great. I'm very excited that I get to work with this guy and like tell him how cool he is, like
Yeah.
once a week or whatever.
So how does that process work? Like, so obviously, I assume it starts with Pierce writing something, and then you talking to like, what's our step-by-step kind of and how it's going down?
So Pierce and his story editor Mike work up a script, right? And that gets sent over to me. Neither of them are quite as familiar with the mechanics of comics as I am. I like. All right, let me pat myself on the back a little bit here. I have a literal fucking master's degree in sequential art. I went to a school called the Center for Cartoon Studies in beautiful White River Junction, Vermont, for my master's degree. I finished that in 2011. I have been self-publishing comics for the intervening 14, 15 years
Cool.
now. My first professionally published graphic novel, The Ardent, came out last year through Field Mouse Press. I do a lot of thinking about this. I also taught a couple of courses at the University of Tulsa, and was also one of the faculty on the Lesley University MFA in Creative Writing Low Residency program in their comics track. So this is a thing that I think about quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I'll go through the script. It's a bit. I don't know quite as much as it might seem like I ought to. So I go through this with I go through the script with a fine-tooth comb, and like a lot of the dialogue and that kind of stuff, like the lore stuff, is not backfilled on that yet. So it's just sort of like in a kind of nebulous state, and like obviously there's lore stuff that informs the things that are happening and so on and so forth, but it's still a little bit looser. And so I'll sort of be like, all right, so you need to move this panel to this page. This one needs to go here. This has to happen on an odd numbered page. And this has to happen on an even numbered page. There's reasons for this. Don't don't question me. And the questions come. It's fine. Whatever. That's part of the process. That's what collaboration is about. So then I send it to them. They do revisions. They send it back. It's a merry dance that goes through all of that. After that has gotten final approval from all parties concerned, that goes over to Giannis. Giannis is on the Isle of Crete in Greece.
Wow.
He's the Minotaur of comics. And so that goes over to our boy Apollonius over there, and he sends us back what are called thumbnails, which are like really, really loose, quick sketches of what's going on in a page. So a lot of the time, they'll look like what I'm drawing right here.
Okay.
Jonas's are a lot more legible than this, because he's a better artist than I am. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that I even have. I'm not even playing the same sport as dude. So like, he'll send me these things, and I'll do a couple little things. Like, most recently, there were a couple of references to earlier pieces, like earlier things that Giannis had drawn.
Yep.
And one of the things about doing a long-running series, or a series that is of any length, really, is that you sort of, after you finish an issue or an episode of this, as we're calling them, your brain just sort of dumps that shit.
Okay.
Like, you have to go back and consult your like lookbook. I've got like, I feel like there's probably something in this one. All right, so there's a cat in the book that I'm about to draw, named Zelio, and like, so you do these turnarounds or whatever, and these are not just so you can think about what the cat looks like. It's also so you have them for future reference, so that when you do that dump after you're done with the issue, you don't have to like try to maintain that.
Yeah.
And so Giannis did a number of turnarounds for characters and so on and so forth. And so he'll like, so once in a while he'll like, there'll be like a reference to an earlier composition or something like that that's in the script. And so we'll need to, like, he'll have drawn a sketch or something that is not that in the thumbnail portion. And so we'll go back and forth with that. And I'll remind him, okay, so this is supposed to reference this one. And this is some Photoshop stuff that happens with that. Once in a while, there'll be like a page flow issue or something. Like, I'm functioning as an editor, basically.
Right. Cool.
And then Giannis does the pages. There's like a couple of rounds of back and forth about like the way certain things are looking. Once in a while, like, I don't know, there'll be something I forgot to mention to him in an earlier stage, and I'll be like, "Oh, wait, Giannis, can you add this in?" And then and then eventually he'll send those to me. I will do so the lettering on these, where like the text is on a separate Photoshop layer. Like, that's not something that Giannis is putting on there as he's doing. These are something that I add on after he sends them to me. So like, there's also a final pass at dialogue that happens there. You can fit. Patreon backers will likely have read the brief essay about the philosophy and art of lettering that I wrote at the end of episode 2. If you haven't read it, it's pretty good. So there's a level of editing that happens there too, but it's pretty light usually. You just need to have like probably max 35 words per panel, because it starts being prose and you end up losing art as a direct result of that, because the speech balloons block them out. So then that happens, and then and then at a later point, these get moved into an InDesign file. For those unfamiliar, InDesign is a desktop publishing software. This is what like most books are laid out in at this point. So like any book you have on your shelf was laid out in InDesign or a similar software. This evolved from Adobe PageMaker, which in turn evolved from Quark Express. Not that you needed to know that.
Full
Yeah, so
history
then this all
lesson.
gets compiled together. Yeah, if you want history of desktop publishing software, I got you.
You don't
I'm
know what
here
we need
for
to know,
it.
Carl.
Yeah. Listen, just give us
You are just the
everything.
arbiter of knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm just old and I have information. So something else that happens with these is because these books, the Ashcan editions, are saddle stitch, right? So they have when I say saddle stitch, I mean they're stapled. This is not. They're stapled on the edge, right? Like this.
Yeah.
Like they're stapled on the fold, which means the interior of these has to have a number of sides that is equal to a multiple of 4.
Right. Okay.
Um, and so because the prose sections are sometimes not that, because it's prose, right? Like most of the time when you're writing prose, you don't have to worry about that kind of pagination or whatever. So most of the time, or sometimes those prose sections don't. Those prose sections plus the comic section plus the credits pages plus whatever else doesn't add up to that.
Right.
And the part of my job that I'm most excited about with this particular project is that I get to write these advertising pages.
That's so great.
Fucking awesome.
Thank you. It's the part of this process that is the most fun. Because like I'll pick a photo, I'll take a photo of something on the Let Escalates website on the web store, and I'll like write ad copy for it. And that ad copy is mostly pretty tongue in cheek. Whose cheek? Yours.
You decide.
So I get to goof with that, and this is just something that I sort of like. This happened at the end of the first issue. I think there were like maybe 3 or 4. There were 3 pages that like needed to be added on, right? Because I couldn't cut anything and I couldn't add anything else without. I mean, I wasn't trying to draw like 3 additional pages of comics because like my pages are not going to be good as Giannis's, and I'm obviously not trying to write 3 pages of prose that are continuing the story of Darrow and Lauren. So I got to be as stupid as I wanted to be, and I don't know. I get to do that a lot now. It's great.
That's awesome.
That's
That's
fantastic.
awesome. Yeah.
It's a job you
then
do well, Carl.
Thank you. Being a dumbass, it comes natural. It is
I know the
actually a
feeling.
hereditary problem.
Talented dumbass at least. You're very talented. I like it.
So
that gets sent to an offset printer here in town, and then out to y'all.
Nice. All packaged with care. Yeah.
I can't speak to that.
That's not you anymore. Someone else has to.
It's not me anymore. I'm not in charge of this. Y'all should maybe try to have Molly point. They're a delight.
Yes, we absolutely
I would love
will get
that.
Molly on. I'm here for it.
I'll mention this to them.
Yes, please do. All right, Crescent, what was
Crescent,
the question?
you're gonna say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, like, how did you get into comics? Like, I guess from the start, I presume reading them, but like, how did you get into designing them? What made you decide to pursue a master's in it? Come on, Carl, tell us your life story.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I was around 6 years old, maybe 10. It's somewhere in the amber-hued mists of memory.
Okay.
My pop lived on Long Island, and his youngest son, Paul, was a comics collector. Paul lived in Buffalo, and so he would drive. He drove down at one point to visit while my dad and my little brother and I were there. And I remember sitting on my pop-pop's couch watching, I think, The Partridge Family.
Classic.
Like, Pop-Pop had cable. We didn't have cable at the time. This tells you how long ago this was.
Yeah.
So I was sitting on the couch watching Partridge Family, probably eating Cheetos or something and wiping my hands on his upholstery. And in comes my Uncle Paul, and he tosses a copy of a Spider-Man comic at me. I was like, "What's this for? What's this about?" My parents apparently were not happy about this. Did not really care for comics, which is fine. That's their prerogative. and I think they were perhaps correct in this because it has ruined my life. JK, not really. So the so he tosses this thing to me, and that's it. Like, it was
Yeah.
too late by that point. I opened this thing up and was like, oh, this is like TV, but there's like these pictures aren't moving, they're not talking, and I can understand a little bit of how this is happening. I can sort of draw, or I can sort of understand why this is going on this way. And this is in, of course, like, if I'm 6, then it's like 91. Which is around the time when the Image, well, this is around when Todd McFarlane is like really doing fucking numbers with his Spider-Man run. Like, Rob Liefeld's run on X-Men is also happening, and Jim Lee is doing great stuff over there too. Like the Lee and Claremont run, I think is just about to wrap up at around this time. It's a really, really great time to get into superhero books, and so, there you go. And then, like, shortly after this, like 93, 94, something like that, is the split. Like, so McFarlane takes Liefeld and Lee and Jim Valentino and a couple of other guys out west. Oh, Eric Larson. He takes all those cats out west to start Image Comics. And Image Comics is where Spawn happens. This is where Savage Dragon, all the like shitty X-Men knockoffs. So I mean, I don't know how familiar y'all are with this period of comics. There's a lot of really dumb shit happening.
Almost
little.
zero.
Yeah.
I know that comics exist.
So
okay,
so
then I'm
this,
slightly higher than that, but still not a lot.
So all of the stuff that's happening with Image out there, aside from Spawn, Savage Dragon, and Jim Valentino's Shadowhawk, which is a thing. Savage Dragon is great. Like, Eric Larson has been doing that series for like probably 30, 40 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's less than that. It's like 35 years at this point. And like, he's around 500 issues in. He's still drawing. It's insane. And it's still a continuous story. Like, the original Savage Dragon has been killed, and his son now is the titular Savage Dragon. It's great. Anyway, yes, ACAB except for the Savage Dragon. But a lot of the other stuff, that's like sort of beefed out Image's roster is like just like dumb X-Men knockoffs, really. Like, there's a book called Youngblood, which I was talking to you before about Giannis's work on John Prophet, and Prophet is a member of Youngblood. I think that seems right. Anyway, there's like a lot of teen books that they're kind of trash. And so that's what I like am cutting my teeth on, that and Spawn. This is also around the same time when the death of Superman happened, so like 94, 95, something like that. And I remember my mom, like, we were somewhere in northern New York. I didn't grow up in New York. I have a lot of family there, but like, we just happened to be there. My mom comes into this like apartment we're renting so they can go skiing or something, with a copy of this comic, and she's like, "This is gonna be worth a lot someday." Little did she know. Anyway, yeah. So I stuck with that. I stopped reading comics for a while in high school because like I had enough problems. Like I shaved my head when I was around 15. I had acne and braces.
Yeah.
I was in theater. It was a bad scene for all concerned. My braces came off eventually, but the comics came back with them, so like my dateability stayed pretty flat. Yeah.
Keeping it even, it works.
+1,
keeping it even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, I took one off my armor class, plus one for my base defense stat. Also I was playing a lot of Shadowrun during this time period. So,
you had everything going for you.
Yeah, just batting 1,000. I was just like having to shoot ladies away with a stick. So I got back into comics when I started going to college. I took a class from a professor called Andy Turgison. The class was called the Comic Book Aesthetic. This was like a 1 month long class. I don't know. Do y'all have these? I don't know how common the Jan term thing is, where you have like this mini semester in between fall and spring semester.
I mean, a little bit. I guess that's when I did like children's lit. Would have been that like mini. Yeah.
I went to trade
Yeah, I
school.
mean it's like a.
Yeah.
So what?
I said I went to trade school.
Oh, what did you study, dude?
Commercial refrigeration.
Hell yeah, that's a cool business to get into.
One might say.
One might.
Hence the commercial refrigerator for a beer fridge.
Smart.
Yeah.
He
I have
sometimes
the
takes
interior-
our the Fate to Obsidian Patreon on trips to watch ice be made. He'll just put a live stream
That is
on,
correct. I
and
do
they
do
will
that on
watch
occasion.
ice be made while he's at work.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. I mean, I wasn't trying to repeat the same pun. That is very.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have like a 1 month class on microwaves.
just in case.
That's the opposite, Carl.
I know.
That's the
I mean,
other way.
that's what these little semesters are.
Completely unrelated knowledge. Okay, I got
Yeah, exactly. Like I was going to school for. I wanted to teach, which I did eventually, but like, roundabout. I wanted to go to school to get a master's in education because I thought I wanted to. I had a lot of really, really, really great history, drama, humanities teachers when I was in high school. Very, very lucky in that regard. But so I found this and I was like, oh no, this is the thing that I want to do after all. I was drawing comics when I was a kid, and like, Professor Trudgerson was like, all right, so your final assignment is you're going to draw a comic. It's like, well, motherfucker.
You just activated my trap card.
Yeah, and I have not actually heard from Andrew since then. So he may have been sent to the Phantom Zone.
Oh no.
It just happens. Sometimes you just gotta duel. So like after that, I think it was the next Jan term after that, or the one following that, whichever. I did like a 40-page comic based on a then girlfriend's dream over the course of like that length of time, which is when I was a younger man, I could do that kind of pace. I cannot do that now. I guess I didn't really know what I was doing, which is great. If you look up ostrich cycles, like the bird, on archive.org, you'll be able to find yourself a PDF of this. It is available for free.
Skipper is doing that now.
I am writing that down. Yep.
There is if you want to drop a link to that too, I can send you the thing. So that I did all 40 pages of that. A few pages of that are like gradually decomposing prose that was handwritten at a pretty large scale. So it was. I did that, and like then a couple of years later, I did my undergraduate thesis, which was another comic, and then I took a year off. I didn't really take a year off. I just like was spiraling out. I moved back in with my mom. That was a mistake. And I was working in a video store, which also tells you how long this was. This is like 2008. So I was working in a video store.
It was the last video store.
Yeah, it was the last one. Like it was in this sort of like windswept Texas town. There were tumbleweeds that were dropping by periodically, and people coming in to try to sell off all of their Kenny Chesney CDs for store credit.
That's what. Yeah. What else are you gonna do?
Dollar worth.
Not much else to do. This is actually in Denton, which is a very, very cool town to be in. Big up little D. Yeah, so then my mom sees an article in the Southwest Airlines magazine about the Center for Cartoon Studies, yoinks that magazine, sends it to me, it brings it home to me, and is like, have you thought about going to grad school? And I was like, no, I don't actually understand what that's for. And so, anyway, I apply to that, I get into there, da-da-da-da-da-da, I meet my wife, I meet my now wife there, and she's somebody whose work I've respected for a really long time. Eventually, we get married. We moved to Pittsburgh, or we moved to Pittsburgh. Then we get married, and then somebody pays us to move to Oklahoma. And I think I've gotten a little far afield from the question that was actually asked. But here you are.
Oh, you're still on the life story, Carl.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It was just yeah.
Well,
That is
I'm still here.
You are magically exactly on question.
That
Nailed
happens so
it.
infrequently.
Yeah.
Especially on this podcast. We can never stay on topic on
Yep.
here. Who knows what's gonna happen? I love it. That's so cool that
certainly.
like you're living your 6-year-old dream out, you know.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Just like I can remember in like elementary school faking sick and having my dad like put me up in a conference room at his office. My dad's a psychiatrist. He was at I would say like Lehigh Valley Hospital or something, and just like asking for sheets of printer paper and like sitting in there and drawing stories about Missile Man, who was a guy who could shoot missiles out of himself.
Naturally.
And and then like be like, Daddy, can you make copies of these? And I'm going to sell them to my friends. And dear reader, I did just that. There was like an entrepreneurial impulse there that I have since beaten. That
That's
that was
awesome.
like, I was like just selling these things for like 75 cents to my buddies. Like so I would just get their fucking milk money and do what with that? I don't know. Markers or something.
Yeah. Just put it back into more print. Well, you probably weren't paying for the.
No, I wasn't paying for this. My dad was stealing hospital copies for these.
Perfect. I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is like I owe a lot to Joel, and to the Red Rising fandom. It's like the possibility of actually making a living and paying your bills and like being it like I went to the dentist. I've been to the dentist twice in the past 6 months. It's great.
Yeah.
The ability to go to the dentist multiple times in a single year is not something that happens for a lot of cartoonists. Like usually, like all right. So Jack Kirby, for example, he dies in poverty. Jack Kirby, for those of you who may not know, is the guy who Stan Lee stole the work with Marvel. Like Kirby is responsible for the Fantastic Four. He's responsible for Captain America. He's responsible for Iron Man, I think. And just like a lot of the really, really good stuff that like is why Marvel exists, right? And
Yeah.
Steve Ditko too. Like Ditko also died in poverty. And it wasn't until like, whoa, man, shit. Like it's still kind of rare to see Kirby or Ditko's names on any Marvel products. And a lot of that is because of the predatory nature of drawing comics. Like there's I can get into this. I'm not gonna start. You got a limited amount of time here, but this is like this. I could teach a class on this, and I have. Yeah, it's not mad possible
Yeah.
to make a living on comics, especially like at my drawing level. I'm just not. I don't have those chops. That's fine. But the Red Rising and Lit Escalates are the reason why I'm able to go to the dentist.
That's amazing. Well, that's cool.
Or it fucking rules. And so I'm deeply, deeply indebted to this entire fandom, to Pierce and to Joel, for like, man, shit. I have a savings account. There's money in it even.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Holy
We always-
shit.
We always
fucking
praise the Red Rising fandom for just how like supportive they are of all of us who are like amateur hour doing whatever. But yeah, especially you guys professionals as well. They're making huge differences in everybody's life. Whether or not it's
Absolutely.
fan artists
It's
or
a
you
it's a
yourself
dream
on
come
a different
true.
level. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, do you see this is kind of you as a professional in, comics? Question for me who worked in a bookstore and so I worked in the bookstore from 2012 until this year, and the rise of graphic novels seemed to be a huge thing, and we had to have like talking points about why graphic novels are good and stop trying to steer. Do you see that as kind of a huge surgence causing into comics that leading that way? Like, I don't know, can you talk a little bit about that? Of like the fact that we
Yeah, for
have a
sure.
Red Rising comic. I can't see that happening 10 years ago, right?
Well, did it happen 10 years ago? Isn't
And
that
a
when
graphic
the
novel.
You're right. Sons of Ares would have been
Sons of Ares, like
9 between Morningstar and
ish
Iron
years
Golf.
ago.
Yeah, so you're right.
But
You're right. Okay,
that's
fine.
that's
20
that's
years ago.
Dynamite Entertainment though. I'm really talking. I'll talk shade about this off camera, but
Yeah.
So
Look forward to it.
this has been there's been a slow rise in the acceptance of graphic novels of and this actually starts in around 1978 with the publication of Will Eisner's graphic novel trilogy, Contract with God. Contract with God is great. The acting is very, very broad in it, but he's like the first person to the person who popularized the term graphic novel. Okay. So this this picture book you got in your hands is no longer a comic book, which is for kids, for for kids, for GIs who never learned how to read, for people who suffered brain damage during one of the many wars, etc., etc. This is something for adults. It is a piece of serious literature. And so Eisner's Contract with God gives rise to a bunch of other things like Mouse. I think this is Art Spiegelman's Mouse, obviously, that owes a pretty great debt to Eisner's work, and then also the grimdark reboots of I don't know, pick a superhero franchise, like the whole thing with Green Arrow where Speedy gets hooked on heroin. That is a direct, unfortunate consequence of of the advent of the. And so these things were available kind of via mail order and in like specific specialty shops. And there was like a pretty steady growth of interest in these things throughout the 1980s. There's this thing called the black and white boom. This is where the Ninja Turtles come from. This is where the Crow comes from. This is where not history of violence. It's where Road to Perdition comes from, unless I am mistaken. All of these like great stories, also the Crow, are come out of this general time period. And there's like this is called the black and white boom. All these things are in black and white. They're printed like pennies on the copy by offset printers, which is what allows them to be Anyway, yeah. So that all happens, and things are going along pretty good until around 1994, which is the Planet Comics bust in Kansas City, where this could have been absolutely catastrophic for this and a couple of other things. Could have been absolutely catastrophic for comics, and they almost were. There's a comic being published by Frank Thorne. Very comic-centric people might remember him as the primary artist on the 1970s run of Red Sonja. Frank Thorne is also, for better or worse, responsible for the invention or for the institution of the Booth Babe. Okay. Yeah, so he's drawing porn comics, and the book he's drawing at this time, Iron Devil, is I bought a collected edition of it at one point, and my girlfriend at the time was like, "Ooh, Carl, this is vile," and it is.
Yeah.
I can't pretend that it's not. So this like presents a crackdown. There's like a lot of like uproar about this. Like some of the Spawn comics that I mentioned earlier, those are also causing a lot of problems. There's like depictions of child murder. There's like depictions of like clan activity, like Ku Klux Klan activity, and so on and so forth. There's some adult stuff here, and it's not like it's being put on the same shelves of the 7-Eleven like the Mickey Mouse comics that
I was going to say the
also
Archies.
yeah, the
Archies
Archies.
arrived.
I have some interesting historical stuff about Archies too that I can talk at you. I'm not
Oh.
gonna do that.
Okay.
Anyway,
After.
yeah. So that plus this thing called the speculative market, which is like variant covers, which was like a whole fucking thing for like the mid '90s or so. And the way that comics had been sold to newsstands and to other retailers at this time was through the direct market. So these things were arranged through the publisher and through the distributor directly with those businesses. And if those businesses didn't sell those comics, they were able to strip the cover back and just mail the cover back in a box or in an envelope or whatever with a bunch of other covers, and receive partial credit for the book. So there was less of a risk or whatever. So you could have like multiple X-Men number 357s with the holofoil covers. And so everybody's doing a bunch of holofoil covers for the issue of every. And the Hulk is there, maybe, I don't know, whatever. And the eventually somebody's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to buy 5 copies of the same book that I'm not going to actually read. And so the bottom drops out of this. And that causes Marvel's, I think, second bankruptcy. Where the way that they get out of this is by merging with Toy Biz, who was their toy manufacturer at the time, and like they count Toy Biz's losses, or they count Marvel's losses as Toy Biz's losses, and so they're able to remain financially solvent for the next few years, which is a pretty savvy business move, but whatever.
Yeah.
At the same time as this is happening, we're also getting the manga being introduced to American audiences. And one of the things that manga does that the big 2 comics are still sort of struggling to do is introduce comics to femme readers and people who don't want punchy shooty comics as like their main thing. So you have like you got your Fruits Baskets, you got your Ranmas, you got your whatevers that are coming out and that are aimed specifically at young women. And so that opens up the market a lot. The young women who were very young women at that time are now grown-ass adults.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that happens in between there too, involving, in particular, younger listeners or viewers of this may have read a fair amount of Raina Tegelmeier when they were kids. Like Raina's, Smile, Drama, her Babysitter Club's graphic novels, which like kind of launched her career. Yeah, her Babysitters Club things really busted the market wide open for comics targeted at young women that were not manga, like Western comics that were targeted directly. And that has led to a massive explosion in comics for young readers, young and middle grade, which in turn translates into a larger interest in comics for adult readers as these younger readers become adults.
Yeah.
So that's the last 50 years of comics history in, I don't know how long that took, 5-10 minutes?
No, it was great. Yeah. Crash course. Absolutely. Yeah, it's always just interested me of like, especially as you say, like as a female who grew up in the 90s, like I read Archie comics and all of those, but there wasn't much. I went and got Catwoman comics every Saturday. Me and my friends would go and get the Catwoman comics, but that was like pretty much the only thing that like really attracted us, as you said, and then so it kind of died off.
This is that run where she has like the big ears on the side of her costume, right? And her like she is very, very cut.
Yes.
If I recall
absolutely.
these correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
As you were.
But then it kind of, I don't know, it felt like it died off because we didn't, I don't know, I felt like I didn't have much to go other than it was also the rise, I feel like, of the web cartoon and Kate Beaton's Hark a Vagrant that I was obsessed with. And I quote all the time, and people are like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
It's
yes.
like, yeah, like all the time I'm
Well,
like,
I mean,
get out of the
as a
class.
Canadian too, right?
It's very Canadian history,
extremely
but also
Canadian.
like Jane Austen references. And then like so it was great to see her recently ended up winning Canada Reads, which is for fiction and nonfiction. It's any book novels, and she was the first one to ever win, kind of not with a book of prose essentially, and she won with Ducks, which was so cool to see. But yeah, just that rise was interesting because for me, we won't talk too much about Sons of Aries because it's not your thing, but it was very interesting. Of
We can
that's
talk
what
about it.
kind of got me back into comics. Was I went, oh, because I was reading Red Rising, I was like, oh yes, okay, Sons of Aries came out, and I was like, I do enjoy these. It's just been so long. So that it was exciting when Book of Lauren came out because it was like, oh yeah. But I mean, from there, there's so many other ones. I play V. Schwab's got ones, but then also I play Horizon Zero Dawn, and there's 2, and I wish they did more backstories in graphic novel form. That I'm like, give me these side characters. They just have like it's such a cool avenue for presenting those backstories and stuff, and I think that's really cool, especially to wrap it all back up to Book of Lauren, of like how you're doing that. Like it's I don't know. That's just my little. It's fun to see how it's come along because I definitely dropped off for a bit and then it came back up when I was like, oh, Sons of Aries, okay, we can do this. Yeah.
Crescent, what do you read comics, or what is your history with comics like?
Very little.
Yeah.
At one point, I got a subscription to Marvel Unlimited because I wanted to read Deadpool, and I read like a fair bit of Deadpool, but it was just like it was very very targeted Deadpool only. Like
Deadpool
I
only,
have I occasionally have like some comic stuff come across my YouTube feed. I love all of the superheroes that originated there, but I don't have much in the way of like actual comic experience.
Yeah, you dodged a bullet.
So Sons of Aries, Book of Lauren, it's my shit.
Hell yeah, dog! There is talk of continuing with a different project after the first nine Book of Lauren issues are posted, but I can't say too much about it.
Ooh, all right.
Ooh, you heard it here first, folks.
We'll get you back in the 2 years or whatever it's going to be for Book of Lauren to be produced.
Like this, a lot of comics is trash, but a lot of anything is trash. And it's like, the good thing about trash is that you can still make stuff from it. Like, you can't quite see them on my shelf over here. I'm a big fan of like rot gut beer, but there is a thing going on right now between Pabst Blue Ribbon and this artist called Attack Peter, where there's Godzillas on the tall boy cans.
That's cool.
And
hell yeah.
It's the fucking best. Pabst Blue Ribbon, I drank a lot of it in college. I drank a lot of it in grad school. I drink a lot of it now. It's not my favorite, but it's fine. It'll get the job done eventually. And I don't know, so I'm getting into those again.
I like it.
I don't know. There's like a lot of... it depends on what kind of trash you like, I think is the most important thing. That you find what you like and let it kill you.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Anything's gonna kill you someday. You might as well find something you like.
Exactly. It's a lot of people out here who love horses, right?
Yeah.
True.
Very true. be trusted. Yeah.
No, not to be trusted. If there's one thing we learned,
I like it.
never trust a sleeping horse.
No. You never know what's
Never
inside.
trust a weirdly bloated horse.
Yeah, these horses
Yeah.
are really lumpy.
What's happening here? Also, how big were
Uh,
those horses? I feel like we've gotten into this before when we were actually reading that part of the book, and I'm like, how? What's
Well, I
happening?
mean, you could imagine that these were carved horses, right? Like
yeah,
if
pretty big.
if they're built to carry golds, right? And golds are denser both in terms of their skeletal system and in terms of their muscle density than the average human.
And
Probably and what?
And larger overall.
And larger,
as well.
right.
Yeah.
So like it's entirely possible that a regular horse would just like snap in two at the
absolutely.
middle upon being mounted by a gold. So one must assume that these horses are also gold horses.
We're thinking like
Which means they would be
Clydesdales
larger.
or bigger. Clydesdales are bigger. is
Yeah,
what we're going
Clydesdales,
for
like they've brought back the medieval war horse.
here. Yeah.
Like 25 hands high at the shoulder. We're looking at like several tons of horse meat here.
They were all just Sunbloods.
Yeah. There you
There
go.
we go.
I
That's
like
what
it.
is.
When are we getting
Sunblood
that
horse.
in comic form? Just that scene. Just red everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just it's the only
Well, there
color.
is a spot color we could use for this. It depends on
This is where all the ideas are gonna flow from.
This is where they're all gonna pour out of it.
We're just
Splatter all over
welcome.
the place. One of the interesting things, this just occurred to me that I want to talk at you.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things about doing comics, and especially doing comics where you're involved in the print process, which is how it works for most smaller, like lower tier in terms of like circulation creators, like being a comics artist means that you are involved in every part of the process, right? Like you're writing the fucking thing, you're drawing the fucking thing, you're designing the book that it comes in, and then you're by and large overseeing like the printing and packaging thereof. So you have to learn all of these little individual pieces about how these things are put together. It's like I don't know of too many other media that are based on that are A, readable media, B, based on multiples that function in that same way. Like comics is unique in this regard because you have the multiples of prints, right? Like the way that you like doing a screen print or like a lithograph or something. But with a comic, there's a panoply of images that supplant the single image that is present in the art print. And B, there's a presentation and juxtaposition of these images that has to be considered at every step of the way. I'm sorry, I'm talking art school. But there's like
Luckily, there's still words.
These are still words, right? So like, okay. So this is a mini comic that I did, so an album. So that's not the point. The point is that like each page of this had to be drawn at a size that would be reproducible at this scale and still be legible.
Okay.
And then these pages themselves had to be ordered in such a way that they would be ordered in the final document in such a way that they would be reproduced and be right reading. And then the document itself also had to like be scaled at such a size that the images were legible at there. They may not be legible to you out there in TV land right now, but trust me, they are legible in the print edition, available on my web store at catocomics@bigcartel.com.
Check the link in.
Yes. I'm going to
show
send you a
notes.
bunch of links after this.
Yes, absolutely.
Link in the bio. Yeah, so like all of these all these aspects of this are going into the production of this, and like even the most like stripped down elemental comic has this dialogue with the format in which it is being presented to you, the reader. This is also true of web comics, obviously. Like, I don't know, my focus is on print, and that's not like it's not like I think web comics are any better or worse or whatever. But like, this is what I like. I like being able to touch it. That whole packaging aspect, that whole like attention to presentation, is something that I don't know of happens in the same way with any other medium.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something that I find terribly
That's
exciting
really cool.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
I have just been running my mouth off at y'all.
No, we
That was
love
literally
it.
the whole point of this episode,
It's-
Carl.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
How
Good.
We were just like,
dare you try and apologize?
I literally said to Crescent before we started, I was like, I didn't write any, like, normally we have, specific questions. And I was like, we have our normal artist questions. And Crescent goes, Carl, just talk. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, just
Carl is
just
possibly
put-
the most human tangent person
He's
alive.
like, that's what we want.
yeah, I'm the. People ask me about grad school, and I'm like, it was clown college, dude. And that's exactly what it is. And that the sort of like this aspect of my personality, where it's like that sort of pre-associating thing that was only encouraged.
Yeah.
And it's just been, for better or worse, been allowed to roam free now that I have the reins of the Patreon and am posting more frequently.
It's fantastic. We love it.
It is so good.
And the Patreon, for those who are not in
And we're not even paid to say that.
No.
That's true. Almost the exact opposite. Literally the exact opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone who's not in it, please join. It's how many people is in there now?
Like 6,900 or something.
I was about to
Nice.
say, did we?
Nice.
Oh.
I think it's closer to about 3,000 or 4,000, but that number is a little padded. Patreon does this thing where it will count free members who for us get fuck all, and it's no shade on you free members. It's just it's the Lit Escalates as a business. That also, like, the free members on there, and the last time I checked, there were 700 between 700 and 1,500 free members on there who I guess had just signed up and occasionally get they'll get an email that says, "Oh, see."
Yeah.
Which, I mean, good for them if that's what they want.
Yeah, but if you're full-fledged member, the chat is always a good time. There is
That's
some
true.
amazing book recommendations often happening when I tune in. Everyone loves to talk about that or anything else. Get access.
People dropping crazy art in there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, Carolyn, Redhead Murphy scribbles.
Okay.
I discovered her art through that chat, and she is
Fucking unreal.
Incredible.
I know.
Have we reached out to her? We probably should.
No, I won't lie. She intimidates me because she's so good.
Okay, I'll write it.
You can write
she
it.
is
I'm like,
absolute darling.
Yeah.
I talk with her every couple of days. She's sending me a reel-to-reel tape recorder from
Ooh.
Germany.
Oh, shit.
Which is fucking wild. It's just a real sweetheart.
yeah.
Around the same time that I sent y'all your thanks for putting up with me packages.
Which Crescent has to show off. He's got his.
Oh yeah, you got one of the last koozies.
I have my one ox beer koozie. No Nazis, no turfs, no cover.
Those are the 3 rules, and the last one we bend when we have like traveling acts. But nobody comes to the shows anyway, so it doesn't matter. The that's not entirely true. Shout out to my boy Todd, also, who is the other guy who runs One Ox with me. One Ox is a music organization in Tulsa, Oklahoma. designed specifically to promote underrepresented groups and to widen the sonic palette of the Mid-South region of these United
Amazing.
States. If you like the sound of somebody hitting a tin can with a stick, we got you.
I like it. Yeah, that's amazing.
It's a very convenient way
A worthy
of
pursuit.
disposing of excess funds, and then also like integrating into the community. So,
That's awesome. That's really cool of you.
yeah, it's totally cool.
Yeah, you seem to be very integrated into the Tulsa community from everything.
Oh,
we've
yeah,
heard
yeah,
of.
yeah.
Like, you know all the
Like
people.
I know a lot of folks out here, and like a large part of that is through One-Ox. But One-Ox we would not have moved to Tulsa. Like, it's not a spot that I had actually thought about where it was in these United States. Before our friend Mel Gilman, who was another cartoon, who was a cartoonist of greater note, to be quite frank. Mel did Other Ever Afters, which is a great book of queer retellings of fairy tales. They did As the Crow Flies, which is another sort of queer coming of age story. They've done so many. Oh, and then I forget what the Wild West one that they did was. Anyway, there's like, they do great comics. They burn through about their body weight in colored pencils every year. It's so gorgeous. So they had gotten this thing called the Tulsa Artist Fellowship, and they were somebody that my wife and I had lived with in a big house called Muff Mansion, in grad school. I think I was like the first mask person to have lived in. No, that's not true. Never mind. Anyway, Muff Mansion was so called mostly populated by femme presenting folks. So like they had gotten this thing called the Tulsa Artist Fellowship. And they were talking to my wife Sophie. So this is Sophie Goldstein, multiple Ignatz Award winner. Ignatz Award is a literal brick. You can look this up. I'm not going to go into that. So like they had recommended this fellowship to Sophie, and Sophie applied, and she got it. And they literally paid us to move out here to Oklahoma, Pittsburgh, which was great because we need to leave for reasons that I also won't go into here. Bag heist. And so when Sophie finished up her fellowship in 2020, that's when I tagged in, or 2021, I guess that's when I tagged in. And I was working on my graphic novel, The Ardent, which is available now from Field Mouse Press or wherever finer comics. So I tagged in there, and then I started doing. One of the things with the Tulsa Artist Fellowship is that it is kind of insular. Like a lot of the folks who are. Let me back that up. The Tulsa Artist Fellowship is a program that brings artists from outside of Tulsa to the city, and gives them a stipend to work on their work for a period of time. Now that's 3 years. When we were doing it, it was 2. It's whatever. So they get a stipend, they get studio space, they get support. There's like some measure of institutional access. Like working with an institution is great because they have things that you don't have, and there's more than there is of you. So yeah, they moved us out here. This is how we met Joel and his wife Christine.
Right.
Joel being Artifex Maximus of Lit Escalates. They lived like 4 doors down the hall from us. We were in the same fucking apartment.
Cool.
If you've ever sent an email to shop@litescalates.com, you have talked to Emily. Emily lived downstairs from us. This was like being in the dorms, but
I
like,
was about to say,
That's
you're all
sick as
just.
fuck, honestly.
yeah. And so while I was doing my fellowship, Sophie and I bought this house, the one that you're seeing me sitting in right now. We moved out here. I started doing One Ox in April 2023. Yes, that's correct. April 2023 was the first one. And this is like everybody coming out of hiding. The pandemic has thawed, or at least we've stopped measuring it. And now it's time for people to get into a storage unit and like scream at a pile of guitar pedals for 20 minutes at a time. You think I'm fucking joking?
No, I've heard your stuff, Carl. I know you're not joking.
It's exactly that. You can find me on Bandcamp at basketsoundsystem.bandcamp.com. So like this thing has like gotten me out of what is historically a very isolating kind of practice. Like comics are about a sad man in a little box drawing a bunch of sad men in a little box. Historically, shout out to Chris Ware readers out there. But like doing music, especially like weird improvised music, is pretty the same. But then like you can go out and do it someplace as opposed to like sitting in a coffee shop and drawing a page of comics, which is like, oh hey, could you draw me, dude? And you can be like, fuck off. Did I ask you to talk to me? Leave me alone. You gonna buy me a drink? No? Eat shit. Not drawing nothing for you.
Yeah.
But like, you know, if somebody asks you like, hey, can you do a noise set for me? You'll be like, oh yeah, dude, totally. It's gonna take exactly as long for me to do that as it's going to take for you to suffer through it. And that's like, that's really liberating. There has always, not always, but there has long been a pretty active scene for this kind of stuff out here. If like experimental sound is something that you listeners are interested in, I guarantee you there is somebody in your town with poor hygiene habits and probably worse social skills who has a garage full of guitar pedals and has been stringing like upright bass strings through PVC pipes for years and bowing them and recording them and making the weirdest shit you've ever. Anybody can do this, and anybody does.
Nice.
It's a really, really democratic thing, and like you just have to be broken in the right way to really get into it, and that's a delightful thing. And I don't know, I wanted that to be, because we're doing that, and because there are people broken in slightly different ways who are also involved in that. I've been able to get very, very well connected to this community.
Cool.
And again, my partner in this, Todd, who plays as 1,000 Plateaus, actually has musical training and is actually a musician, and is also quite good at organizing. So, like, he's able to do that aspect of things. I'm able to just sort of like talk until my lungs fail at most of these events.
It takes a team. Takes a team.
Yeah, we have different skill sets. Yeah, it takes a village idiot to raise a child.
Incredible. Yeah, that's so cool. Well, and I mean, we've only been in Tulsa for 2 days, and it was the hottest days of our lives. But it's just such a cool city.
Deeply unpleasant.
Those were nothing.
I nearly died.
That was HowlerCon, right?
It was HowlerCon.
Yeah, it was like,
was that
like 110 degrees?
107.
Yeah, it was early August.
Yeah.
I'm ginger.
Yeah, that makes sense. I
can't be there.
It took my wife, who was also ginger. It took my wife. We bought the house, and then she was like not able to be outside for the first 3 or 4 days we were. We bought the house, and then she started gardening, and like for the first year that we were in this house, every like half hour or so, I would like step outside to be like, Sophie, are you
still alive?
Are you still alive out there, bro? Do you need some water? Do you need me to wet a washcloth and put it on the back of your neck so you can sort of dissipate some of this heat?
I'm gonna hold you an umbrella.
I will stand behind you with this parasol, milady. Perhaps Perhaps some later point I may entreat thee to play at whist. But she built up a tolerance to the heat by being really laser focused on on trying to nativize. What's the word for this? Where you encourage native plants
I
in a
don't
good.
know.
Okay, like
I
she's
don't
like
garden.
doing
Yeah.
Rewilding.
native plant shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Rewilding. That's it. Yes. Yeah. So she's rewilding our yard. We have like a half acre out here.
Cool.
Holy shit.
And it's gorgeous. It is a place of really pretty sublime peace. Even though there's like a lot of maybe not extremely poisonous, but they'll give you an upset tummy
Yeah.
type plants growing on the back 40 there. Yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
It was 110 degrees is rough. I grew up mostly in Texas, so like,
You're fine, but
whatever. You just don't go
Yeah.
outside.
yeah. Other than that, though, my point, other than it nearly killed me, was it is a lovely city, and it was really cool to see how you worked, like how Lit Escalates clearly brought so many places together, which was incredible.
Yeah, it was wild, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The craziest thing for me about HowlerCon was I feel like it had to have been how hot it was, but it was just like the only people that were out. You howled at them and they howled back.
Yeah.
It
I
felt
mean-
like we just like had taken over downtown Tulsa.
Yeah. And especially the night after when we kind of knew everybody, then we were sitting at Valkyrie's outside and like everyone walking past, we were like, oh, we recognize you and we recognize you and we recognize you. Like we just kept.
Oh, there's a Switchblade. There's Fuckface. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know
Yeah,
everybody pretty
exactly.
quick.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, being in Tulsa for any amount of time is sort of that.
Mm.
Like the city is like it's the biggest small town that I've ever lived in.
Yeah.
I know that
But-
feeling very deeply.
Where are you at in Canada again?
I'm in Saskatoon. I'm in the
Not
middle
big.
of the rectangle. There's less than 300,000 of us.
Yeah, it's that. It's just like our bus system doesn't work as well as yours does.
Wrong. I bet.
Oh. I assure you.
This is going to be
It's
the
not great.
next podcast series.
Yeah.
We visit all of the cities of North America and figure out
Yeah,
who has the
we are
worst
taking
public
transit.
transit.
Who has the worst public transit system?
Yeah.
I will say that Toronto's bus system and streetcar system is pretty good, but don't go on the subway. For a city with 2 million people, they should have a better subway.
That is something that I've heard, actually.
Yeah.
Like, there was this Toronto-based guy, Toronto-based musician called Russian Futurists. Do you know this guy?
No, I don't.
It's kind of good synth pop from the early 2000s. Worth looking into. He did some game soundtracks too at a later point. But he has a track called U.Me.T. Which didn't paint a rosy picture of the experience.
Yeah. Don't drive downtown. Just don't go downtown. We're just not a city built for actually being in it. If it's warm enough, you can walk.
Have you been to TCAF?
Yes.
The Toronto Comics and Arts Festival?
I was like, have I?
Used to be
yes. It used to be in
It used to
the
be
reference library.
Young and Bloor? Yeah, that's the one. I don't know where that is now.
No, I haven't been to it since COVID, but that was always really cool.
Yeah, it was a great spot. That was one of my favorite conventions to do.
Yeah. We should compare now.
I don't know anything about what's happening in Saskatoon, though. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Our one comic expo is like dying. I don't know.
Well, you've got the
Feels
one
like
guy
it's
who's
not
doing
advertised, and then
you got the one
then it
artist who
happens.
was in who used to draw Alpha Flight. You've got the one guy doing superpowered Mountie comics.
There you go.
Oh,
I don't know
fuck.
if these are. I'm making these guys up.
No, there was. Fuck. My buddy's friend's dad
Buddy's friend's
apparently
dad.
was
Okay.
like extremely prolific, and I can't remember
Mhm.
what the fuck his name was.
Was it Joe Schuster?
No.
Oh my god! Don't tell me it's Dave Sim, is it?
No, it is not.
Oh. Whew.
Oh, I would know it if I heard it, 100%.
I mean, like, all right. So I think Todd McFarlane is a Canuck. I don't know
I've
whether
heard
he's
so.
from. Yeah, and then like he lived in New York for long enough that he decided to put on a New Yorker accent, and it doesn't work out really well for him.
Yeah.
But I think he was also a baseball guy.
Tom Grummett.
Say again?
Tom Grummett?
Dom Grommet. No, I don't need to look this up. Okay, but yeah, I mean, there's like the thing about one of the other nice things about comics, especially in this most digital and insecure of eras, is that you can do it anywhere.
Mhm.
And like Benji Nate, who is an indie cartoonist whose work I follow on Instagram, they posted something about their process, and they were like, yeah, okay, you can buy this like manga paper that I really like. I use these pit pens that are like 0.5 width, this size. This is what I use for everything, and you can do it on this stuff. Or wait, hold on a fucking second, check it out. Here's this piece of scrap paper. Oh, look out! There you go. It's a fucking comic. That's how fucking
Nailed
easy it is.
Yeah.
I think maybe it is. I think maybe the noise thing and the comics thing share a lot of DNA in that they are democratic and that
Yeah.
they are things that you don't actually need training to do. You can get it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go and like become deeply conversant with the tonality of John Cage's pieces that involve bathtubs, but you don't need that. You can also just piss yourself and roll around in a pile of trash and call that your art. Which we don't have that guy here, but I know that guy.
Oh.
Shout out to Hollywood Johnny. But like both of you don't have to do,
Yeah.
and there's no specialty tools to do this. Like I have, yes, I have a drafting table. Yes, I have a pile of guitar pedals over here. But these are things that I have because I was lucky enough to be able to get the funding to be able to do them. You don't need this.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
trapping. In the same way that you don't need like specialty writing software right now. You don't need to find a public. Anybody can do art at any time. So fucking watch yourself.
Hang on.
Actually, wait, no, that's it. I think that's actually probably a. Uh oh. Looks
Where
like
is
he's
he
doing an
running?
art. Oh god.
This is either he is running to the washroom because he does
Mhm.
this to me, or he's bringing something back.
¿Por qué no los dos? This is a thing that happens a lot. One of the things that I was doing for quite some time, and this it's starting in like I want to say August last year. My entire life just like exploded. Like I was teaching at the University of as I think I've talked at you about.
Yeah.
I was teaching at Lesley University in Boston. I was editing Book of Lorne. I also had The Ardent come out at the same time. I had like 3 or 4 out of town shows for Open Casket Sound System. I was doing a number of conventions on the East Coast. Everything really just completely fell apart. But the thing about that is that I was running a campaign in this game, Morkborg. Have you played this?
No.
Oh my god, it's great.
So sorry,
and-
I was in danger of becoming Hollywood Johnny.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
Great set, bro. So I was running this board campaign for like 3 or 4 years. Do you know this system, Crescent?
I do not.
Do either of you play TTRPGs?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, what you got? What you got?
what's he showing off?
Show me your
Play
credentials.
5e. I mean, like,
Hell
it's
yeah.
just the player's
Yeah.
handbook, but all of my binders and shit are right here, too.
Nice. The thing I like about anyway, so I've been running. That was. I've been running a game of Monster Hearts or what? Fucking whatever. This is not important. Anyway, the point is, we have been running this game of Morkborg for like a number of years, and like, I just couldn't do it anymore. Like, I'm not a planner by and large when it comes to like hobby type shit like this. So I was just sort of like doing 3 hours of improv anytime we would get together, and it just stopped being possible. I don't remember why I was mentioning this.
Just all the things you were doing. You were talking about.
Yeah, I was
You had
very
so
busy
much
and like.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of things. Very fun. I really enjoyed that, and I hope to be able to get back to doing this game at some point. Or doing a different game, even. But yeah, neither here nor there.
Incredible. Well, I think this has been great, and we'll get you back sometime when we talk actual Red Rising. I feel like you'd have some
Absolutely.
real fun.
Yeah, I've got ideas and opinions.
Yeah. I mean, our artist series we've discovered is never ending. It was supposed to go for we're like, it'll be a month, maybe 2. That was 2 months ago, and I think we've come out with 8 more people that we're talking to. Yeah, It's just a never-ending cycle. So, but thank you so much for coming on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the last minute
Absolute
that
pleasure.
we were yesterday being like, so we had a cancellation. Yeah.
So you know how I like just talked at you for about an hour and a half?
Yeah, which we love.
I can do this.
Yep.
I can do this whenever you want me to.
Amazing.
Pick a topic and send me going.
Every time we're like, oh shit, we didn't plan. What's this week's episode? Carl's this week's episode.
Yep.
Let's
Carl,
ask
do you have
Carl
something you want to talk
the...
about?
I like it.
Oh my god, let me talk to you about Black Letter Gothic and how insane the way they draw X's is.
Ooh.
I can't go for an hour and a half about that, but I can go for like 5 minutes.
I would get behind that. I had a weird obsession with fonts for a while, so I'm here for it. I have
fonts
many,
are fascinating. Letter forms, especially when you get into like typesetting. Oh my god.
Ooh, yeah. We're here for it.
Oh, P.S. I should plug this too. I'm not involved in this in any way, but it's a game that this is a game called Pentiment. I mentioned it in our group chat the other day.
Yeah.
Pentiment is about early modernity in Bavaria. And what's happening in Bavaria during early modernity? Gutenberg Bible, motherfucker, and Lutheranism. And like a series of revolts against assorted manor lords. It's an era of unrest. And Pentiment is based, or the art in Pentiment is based largely on marginalia and on books of days that people were recording in that region of the world. So there's like,
cool.
There's a real historical shit going on with that. Also, you're solving a murder.
Nice. I'm here for it.
Yeah. So
big
wreck.
You're gonna give me an entire list of all of the things we're looking up, right? So everybody listening is just gonna have an entire.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have a biblion.
There'll be required reading.
Required reading. There will be a test.
You want to go back through and put super text over it so we can have a link to the. Don't do that.
It'll be fine.
That's an insane thing to do. Don't do that.
For something that is coming out tomorrow?
Right? That I'm about to go edit. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, to do that shit. Let me. I'll try and remember all the things that I. And if there's anything that anything that you run into as you're editing this episode that I have forgotten to add to that list, I will just hit me up about it.
Sounds good.
Right.
I will do. We will bring back as well. We had, since you guys gave us access to it, the Book of Lorne preview. We have been using it as the closing of our podcast for months, and then we were like, "It's 2026. We're not going to do that again." But they're bringing it back for this episode, so everyone can have
Bring it back!
Seems fair.
TGR's beautiful voice of low howlers. I'm sure some people can probably have that memorized, all of our frequent listeners, because we ended 3 months worth of episodes and they're going to get it again. So thank you everybody for listening. Thank you so much, Carl, for joining us. And yeah, I mean, we'll talk to you in like 2 seconds in
Absolute
our group
pleasure.
chat, but it's always wonderful to have you in our lives. And everyone join the Shit Escalates Patreon and support Book of Lorne.
It fucking rules.
Yeah. It's great.
True, it does.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks, folks.
Lo, howlers. Red Rising isn't ending with Red God. Wipe away your tears, and welcome to the Book of Lorne. Episode 1. Honor in the First. The statue of the Gold Woman is thick and uncharacteristically short for her color. Her armor is utilitarian, unadorned except for the image of a griffin depicted head-on. Below her, a metal plaque has been affixed. It reads, "Honor in the First." Am I really so naive that I thought I could just knock on this door and ask him to instruct me? And here I thought the morning to be free of storms. The voice rumbles from behind me. I go still. I turn to see the most famous warrior alive. Years and war have left this man like a spit of land pummeled by the waves of the sea, until all that remains is proud cliffs, violent scarps, and impish breaker sprays of mischief and danger in his eyes. He nods to the plaque. These words first belonged to my mother, Nepheli au Arcus, who lived every single day of her life governed by a code of honor, except for the day that she died. My dearest Lorne, this is the last you will hear from your father and I for some time. If the night goes well, we will come for you when it is safe. If not, then I am sorry, for the future of House Arcos will fall to you. I regret that it has come to this, that we must place ourselves in the service of a criminal, but our house cannot survive under your father's debts. We have no choices left. Son, what we do tonight, we do for you, to give you a chance at a life of honor, purpose, duty. I love you, my son, and if this is indeed our last goodbye, then I would bid thee to memorize the lesson I so badly forgot today. Under pain of consequence, honor in the first, honor in the last. The Book of Lorne, available now on shitescalates.com.